Okay, we are on page 385, and we are working right now on finding the area of a trapezoid. Now, just to review, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. This top line and this bottom line are the two parallel sides. These are not parallel. These will eventually come together at a point. So these are the parallel sides, the top and the bottom. Over here, the top and the bottom are the parallel sides. So they have to have, by rule, one pair of parallel sides. So we have a base 1 and a base 2. Down here, this was called the base 1. This is called the base 2. Now that's going to be more important in the future on the next lesson, but these things are good to know. Base 1, base 2. This measurement in the inside is the height. This measurement here is also the height. Now, in order to find the area of a trapezoid, we're going to try to connect to something we already know. We know that the area of a parallelogram is very simply the base times the height. Now, when we first introduce trapezoids, we are actually going to find the area of a parallelogram, or in number 5's case, the area of a rectangle. Now, how do we turn it into a parallelogram? Well, here's what we did in class. First off, we're going to take this trapezoid and we are going to make another trapezoid. And it's the same exact trapezoid, and all we're going to do is sort of flip it upside down so that the larger base is on the top, the shorter base is on the bottom. The height is going to stay the same. Now what we end up with is we end up basically with a parallelogram. And if it's 6 on the top, well then you know this measurement here has to be 6. Now, in order to do the area of a parallelogram, it's simply base times height. Well, we would have to add 10 plus 6 to get 16. Okay, and then once we take and find the base, which is 10 plus 6 for 16, then we're going to times it by the height. So we're going to do 16 times 5. And that's going to be 80. So as I have told kids in class, the great state of Tennessee here has an area of 80. Now, we're not technically interested in the entire parallelogram. We are trying to find the area of the trapezoid. So we're not interested in this piece here. This is just to kind of help us figure out what to do. But we are interested in this trapezoid. Oop. Now, if we know this entire thing is 80, what we have to do to 80 is we simply have to take 80 and divide it by 2. And if we take 80 and divide it by 2, we know the area of this trapezoid is going to be 40. So we find it by flipping the trapezoid on its end, and then we can find it as a parallelogram. And then if we take 80 and divide it by 2, we will get the area for that trapezoid to be 40. For number 5, it's a little bit different because this trapezoid is sort of a different shape compared to the trapezoid in number 2, but the same rules apply. We're still going to take this end and flip it, so we end up with a rectangle. And we have those two pieces that sort of come together. If it's 22 on the base for the bottom, we have to add 16. So we're going to have to add 22 and 16 together. That is going to be our base of our rectangle. If we add it together, we get 38. The last thing we have to do, I'm going to change colors here, we have to take 38 and times it by the height, which is 14. Now, if you do 38 times 14, you're going to get 532. Now again, the entire rectangle is 532. But we're not interested in the entire rectangle. We are interested in that trapezoid piece, which is 532 divided by 2. If we take 532 and divide it by 2, again, we're not interested in this. That's just to show us what our base would be. We're not interested in that 5 anymore. If we take 532 and divide it by 2, we're going to get the area inside of this trapezoid to be 266. So once again, page 385, numbers 2 and 5, we're finding trapezoid area, and we're sort of going back to what we know with base times height. So in order to do the trapezoid, we're going to go base 1 plus base 2 times it by the height, and then we're going to divide by 2 to get half of that to get our original trapezoid.